Hey, what's up, everybody? It's WODU Studios, the best in college radio, hosting KBR Sports, the best sports talk show of your 24-hour day. I'm your host, Brendan Abbin. To my right is my co-host, Kylie Lewis. To my left is Rashad Pennell. And then our guest for today is Rudy Henderson. We hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving break and ate good. Had a good couple of cheat days, and is ready to get back down to the grind now because we definitely are with finals week and everything. How are y'all doing this morning?
Chilling, try to make it out here. 2 more weeks.
I need some sleep.
I'm just living life.
All right. Brady's living a sweet life right now. But we got a good amount of topics for y'all today. We're gonna get into of course the big news of the weekend. Kobe Bryant retiring, and what he's meant for the NBA, what his what his legacy is going on moving forward after so far the 16 games into the season, what the Lakers have looked like and what Kobe has looked like. We're just gonna reflect on Kobe Bryant, just what he's meant for the league, and different things that have also come into like with Kobe Bryant. Then we'll also talk about the other big news is the Patriots finally losing a game, now having one loss in the record, and now all of a sudden Denver's chances to get home field advantage looks a lot more realistic because now to the Patriots one loss, the Denver has two losses. So it looks more realistic with Brock Osweiler leading the charge. So we're going to be asking the question, can Brock lead them to the Super Bowl? And if that's realistic, we'll also get into Kevin Durant's comments to the media about Kobe Bryant and their treatment of Kobe Bryant. And we'll talk about if Kevin Durant actually has a fair point, or if Kevin Durant is coming for the media again. And then we'll also talk about which NFL head coach, deserves to get fired the most, because there's a lot of teams that have underperformed to the talent that they have, or there are teams that coaches made wholesale changes and then the team hasn't performed. So we'll get into that. But to start off with, the, yeah, to get started,
No
we're gonna
shots fired.
yeah, right. To get started, we're gonna talk about the Patriots. They they've been playing at a high level all season, but then you have to start asking the question: when do the injuries become too much for a team to handle? Because it seems as though every single week the Patriots are losing key players. Like even in the game against the Broncos, they lost Dante Hightower. Then they lost Keyshawn to another injury also, who's their backup running back. So if you
And the Gronk.
yeah, and if you list all the Patriots injuries for this whole season, they had Brian Timms has been out, James Devlin, Daryl Roberts, Brandon LaFell, Brian Stork, Julian Edelman, Nate Soldier, Terrell Brown, Rufus Johnson, Ryan Wendell, Jamie Collins, Dion Lewis, Danny Amendola, Aaron Dobson, Michael Williams, Justin Coleman. It just seems like there's you can only get injured, have so many injuries, and expect to remain playing at a high level. But they've done it. They've done it, and it was just bound to catch up to them when they were going to play a high level team, which came in the form of the Denver Broncos. And it's not like Denver, had the Patriots number or anything like that. It took them going to overtime to beat the Patriots. And even in the fourth quarter, the Patriots were without Rob Gronkowski because of that late hit he got on his knee. And yet they managed to force the game to overtime. So what do y'all think about the Patriots loss to the Broncos, and how do you feel like it impacts their chances of getting back to a back-to-back Super Bowl? We'll start this off with you, Kylie. What do you think?
Oh, okay. Um, it was. It's just it's weird to see them lose. Really, like especially since they're like the premier team that always wins. I do think that the injuries played a lot into their loss. You mean like you were saying, you can't lose people each week, and then it's gonna eventually catch up to you. Especially when you lose some of your top the what you call it top weapons on your offense. It like kind of definitely puts a dent into your performance. Um, I I didn't think they was gonna lose to the Denver Broncos, but Brock Osweiler came through this week. Um, then Patriots just took that L, surprisingly.
All right, Rashad, what do you think?
I'm not surprised one bit. I told y'all the Patriots gonna go down. I just I just didn't think it was gonna be to the Broncos. You know who I thought it was gonna be? I thought it was gonna be to the Bills, who
This man said it wasn't even an upset.
who let me down.
Yeah,
Who let me down. But I told y'all the Patriots will lose at least one game. They haven't lose to the Broncos. Supports my case. But Brock Osweiler, no, he's not going to Super Bowl. Really.
No, we'll get to that.
Oh.
Yeah,
I just that name, just himself, just makes me want to talk about him now. Just how much
Skipping subjects.
All right.
I just
Don't do that to that man.
it's because I don't know.
Focus on the Patriots. The Patriots, man.
All right, the Patriots injuries affected them losing, affected them big time. Having no Edelman, having no Danny Amendola, losing Gronk in the fourth. See, when you look at it, how that game shaped out. If you think about the muff punt, that wouldn't have happened if Amendola or Edelman was back there.
Nope.
That wouldn't have happened. Did he get fired?
Yeah,
Did he get released? Got released.
Yeah,
So I think that wouldn't have happened if they were there, and technically that game probably wouldn't have lost. But injuries.
Oh, quick. He's referring to the player that dropped the punt, not Danny Amendola or
Yeah,
Julian Edelman.
So if Danny Amendola or Julian Edelman there, technically that game. Well, you never know how that game would have went because it's different players in there, different different play styles, way to move the ball to the field, more weapons for Tom Brady. But that pump never got muffed. Game wouldn't end the way it ended. We probably be talking about the Patriots still being undefeated right now. So injuries had a big part to play in it.
All right, Rudy, let me hear your perspective on it.
I think injuries had a big part to play in this particular game, but I think in the long run, as far as making the Super Bowl run, they won't. They're supposed to get Edelman back. Gronk is supposed to miss at most one game. They said Donta Hightower's the injury isn't that serious. They'll probably get one of those running backs back or some other people back on the way back. Honestly,
Wait, so are you saying they won't make it to the Super Bowl?
no, I'm saying that the injuries aren't going to affect them going to the Super Bowl. Yes, because they're going to get these players back before the playoffs. And we've seen with the Patriots training staff and just the way they are professionally, when they come back, they're ready to be plugged back in and play. They're not like how I sort of felt Tony Romo got rushed back in. I don't think with the Patriots, when their players come back, they're ready to play. So I don't think the injuries will affect them. And I also think there's a little bit of gamesmanship here from the Patriots. They had the muff punt. Some things were going wrong. I honestly believe that they weren't trying their hardest to win that game because best case scenario, Brock Osweiler wins that starting job and they run over the Broncos in the playoffs. So.
But see, really, what I'm saying is, you just said that they'll come back completely healthy.
Mm-hmm.
You can't sit here and say, especially because Danny Amendola has a history of injuries. You have to worry about him when he comes back. Is he gonna stay healthy? You have to worry about if Julian Edelman does return, or when he does return, how that foot's gonna hold up. You got to think about, is he gonna be a step slower? Is Gronk gonna be a step slower because his knee? You got to think of all this stuff. You just got to think about everything with these injuries. Like, yeah, the training staff may be good, make them come back, but would they be as effective as they just were playing to get them to undefeated into this game?
I mean, there's one reason I'm not really worried about them losing a step or anything like that, and that's because they have T. Brady at quarterback. Had they had anybody else back there, just the regular schlubs, then it would really affect them. But T. Brady makes you get open. T. Brady can get you open regardless if you're slow, fast, can't catch anything like that. He can make you get that ball.
Like taking a step off of someone's speed is a lot.
That is a lot.
Especially someone like Julian who always gets open.
See, that is a lot, but then you have to think about
let me interject real quick. I think. But I also don't think they would bring back Julian Edelman unless he could go.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
What I mean? Like, I don't think they would bring him back at like, say,
70%.
70%. I think they'd be like, okay, let's get you ready because foot injuries are no joke.
Exactly.
So I think they would wait till he was legit fully healthy to be like, okay, now he still has his quickness, his speed. Granted, there are, I mean, a lot of players in the NFL have injury histories.
Mm-hmm.
Like Rob Gronkowski himself has injury history.
It's not like Danny Amendola or like
No, Rob Gronkowski's missed whole seasons because of his knee, his elbow, his tricep or something like that. Like he's missed whole seasons because of Robert Gronkowski has a bad injury history too.
But when he plays, he's not hurt. Like he's not hurt every season. Like he can play a complete season.
But Danny Amendola,
we haven't seen Danny Amendola or like a Wes Welker or somebody like that play a whole season.
I don't think
Danny Amendola's played a whole season, but the problem is that we didn't really look to Danny Amendola as much as a focal point. The Patriots, he's been on the Patriots for years now.
Exactly, that's what I was saying.
Julian Edelman just overshadowed him. That's all it is. But the minute Julian Edelman got hurt, Danny Amendola's role stepped up. So we actually paid more attention to Danny Amendola. But Danny Amendola's been healthy since he got to the Patriots from leaving the Rams.
But
he's been healthy.
He's had concussions.
He's been healthy. Julian Edelman's had concussions too. A lot of players in the NFL have had concussions. Aaron Rodgers had concussions.
But if you think about those slot receivers, they get it the most.
They do get hit.
Danny Amendola gets hit the most for those. He's known for getting those concussions. That's why kind of the Rams didn't really want him as much.
The Rams got rid of Danny Amendola because I mean we just didn't it was one of those points we started getting rid of all our talent because we had nobody. It was like one of those seasons that you're just like, well, time to rebuild.
Why get rid of your talent?
And now they have the great Nick Foles
because we couldn't like it's one of those things you don't want to keep good players down. I guess that's why they let Steven Jackson go.
Well, Steven Jackson wasn't that good of a player at that point in his career.
Well, that's general managers and coaches' jobs. Like you, like, oh, well, we want you to have a good. No, you want to win.
We weren't winning. That's the thing. We weren't winning. We weren't winning. And Danny Amendola wasn't producing like that. Like the way he was in that one game for the Patriots. No, we just didn't have a quarterback. That's the thing. Topic. We didn't have a quarterback. Yeah, exactly. But we just didn't have a quarterback. But the point is that we don't. But the point is the fact that every player in the NFL has been injured at some point in time. If that's the case, then what's the case that we can say that the Steelers will make it to the wild card or whatever? Because Ben Roethlisberger's injury prone. Ben Roethlisberger gets hurt all the time, but he plays through half the time.
He really got hurt the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like this man's been consistently hurt, yet he always is in uniform. I don't know how it happens. Like, what is the Pittsburgh training staff doing? Like,
man is made out of steel.
Like I don't know something. He's always there to play. I don't get it, but
made out of steel during the week, silly putty during games.
He still finishes them. I don't know how.
He didn't finish last week.
He didn't.
but he took himself out though.
Wait, y'all. See, we be rolling and then we just go somewhere else. We go to a whole nother place.
I just think those injuries will affect their chance of making the Super Bowl. I don't think they can win the Super Bowl.
Who will make the Super Bowl over them?
Who will make the Super Bowl over them?
No, you just said Brock can't take them. You just said Brock can't take them to the Super Bowl. So who's going to make the Super Bowl over the Patriots if it's not Brock Osweiler leading them?
Super Bowl. You gotta think about it.
There's more than 2 teams playing in the AFC. You still got like you don't think none of those teams are good. You don't think none of those teams can compete.
I don't think none of them teams are better than the only other team. The only other team that you made, Cincinnati Bengals.
That's what I said. The Bengals.
But that's it. But I'm saying the only I don't see the Bengals haven't proven to me for me to say that the Bengals will beat the Patriots or the Broncos.
We gotta wait to see who the wild card teams are too. Because all those wild card teams right now that are competing, they can compete with these top teams.
Right now, it looks like
they can compete.
Right now, it looks like Kansas.
It's not. I don't think it's gonna be. Well, Houston's playing well.
Houston's on a roll.
Houston's is probably gonna make it. But see, I think those teams right there can compete. Kansas City, I think Kansas City can compete.
But see, sorry, my fault. But right now, as it stands, I think the wild card teams Pittsburgh,
and Kansas City,
Houston. No, Houston. I thought Houston was tied to win. Y'all
like Houston are both 6 and 5.
There's like 5 teams.
Yeah, there's like 5 teams that are either 5 and 5 or 6 and 5.
Also, then it would be Pittsburgh, Kansas City, Houston.
I think the Jets are in that mix.
The Jets, the Bills.
The Jets didn't win this past weekend, did they?
But it's still in the mix.
They did win this.
No, they're in the hunt. But I'm just talking about like currently sitting at the wild card right now. And then what I'm saying is right now, if you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, their defense, their secondary is so atrocious. Yeah, their secondary just gets obliterated by anybody that plays. And Russell Wilson had a field day with them on Sunday. Granted, it was his birthday, but and then you look at the Texans. I mean, I don't think the Texans are a team. The Texans are caught on fire. I don't know what happened. Bill O'Brien got them playing like stars or something. I don't know what has. Yeah, exactly. But then that isn't gonna cover you up against the better teams. I mean, the Bills defense was supposed to cover up the offensive deficiencies.
Penalties.
And it didn't work. You see, it didn't come out to work out for them. So I don't think that. But and here's the thing: I think the Patriots had a good chance of going undefeated if they would have stayed fully healthy. I honestly think what beat the Patriots was their health. Like it's the same thing like when we talked about the Golden State Warriors a few weeks ago. When we were talking about if they could beat the Bulls record, they have to be healthy. Like you definitely picked them. You said if Steph Curry goes down, you're obviously going to be like, wait, hold on a second. I only had them. I only had them that way if they were fully healthy.
I don't know right now because actually that team is actually.
No, but I'm saying, but
people are stepping up.
But no, but who the Golden State Warriors? No, but I'm saying if Steph Curry goes down, we all know what it is. We know what it is. They're not. Rashad, come on, please, don't do this. Please,
let's go to the next.
Please,
next topic.
Come on, please, Rashad. Come on, please, no, Rashad, please, just agree. Please, just agree. I'm begging you, disagree. Disagree. Why you always gotta be the different? Why can't you disagree? I'm just saying if Steph Curry's out for an extended amount of time.
20.
Let's say if he's out for.
It's over. 20 games. He's over.
let's say he's out for 3 weeks.
Right.
Let's say he's out for 3 weeks. Let's say he's out for 3 weeks or 2 weeks. 3 or 2 weeks. You play like 7 games within that time span. 7 or 10 games in that time span, depending on how many back-to-backs you have. And imagine how many losses.
The way these players are playing.
Brock.
Oh, okay. I can't. Okay, Brock. Okay, we're gonna go. Rashad just always finds a way. every show. I just want to get through one without him saying something. Without something being said that's like I just can't get through one.
I'm just saying, they're stepping up right now. Brandon Rush is stepping up.
So can Brock Osweiler lead the Broncos to the Super Bowl?
Thank you, Rudy. Thank you. I can't even can the win on Sunday night. The question can be asked since Brock Osweiler took over for Peyton Manning. He's gone 2-0. The Denver running games actually showed up, and it's a fair question to ask: can Brock lead the Denver Broncos to the Super Bowl? Rudy, you'll start this one off with you. I was going to start with Rashad, but damn, Rashad.
The Brockweiler cannot lead the Broncos to the Super Bowl. I don't think he would get them out the first round that they played in. Looking at him, he's been effectively ineffective. And what I mean by that is he's sort of been a placeholder. He's done just enough not to give the game away, but he hasn't necessarily won them the games. He did have a good drive at the end of the game against the Patriots, but at the end of the day, he is a placeholder. He don't make him more than what he is. The number 0 is a placeholder. It can't be anything but 0. Brock Osweiler is a replacement. He can't be anything more than a replacement. They will not go to the Super Bowl led by the Brockweiler.
All right, Rashad, what do you think?
I agree 100% with Rudy. He is not an NFL starting quarterback to lead a team to the Super Bowl. If we're going to say he can lead that team to the Super Bowl, we might as well say that Matt Hasselbeck, who's undefeated, can lead the Colts to the Super Bowl. If that's what we're going to do, might as well say that as well. Brock Osweiler would not lead the team to the Super Bowl. Their best chances with Peyton Manning, and even that is not a good chance. This team is not a Super Bowl team.
I got some to say.
Brock Osweiler is basically Mark Sanchez for the Jets.
Oh my God.
When he made it to the AFC Championship, am I right? Am I right? Didn't that defense?
Oh yeah, true.
But here's the thing: Mark Sanchez was not playing as well as Brock Osweiler is.
He's not playing that well.
I mean,
Brock Osweiler's been playing pretty good.
Brock Osweiler had a 37 QBR this past weekend in that win. Just thought I'd throw that out.
But I'm also saying, but he's also made the.
He threw interceptions as well.
He's thrown 1 interception.
It's still an interception.
Let's keep going.
It's still an interception. It counted. You act like you said, 37 QBR. He didn't throw interception this game, right?
He did throw an
Yeah,
interception.
this is the game he threw the interception in.
I thought he was the one last week as well.
No,
I thought he went 1-1.
He just wasn't very impressive. He just did what he could to not lose the game.
To not lose the game.
He threw 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
I thought it was 2-1 last week.
He was 20 out of 27, threw for 250. He threw 2 touchdowns.
250.
Yeah, but you say the score of that game.
It was like 17-14.
That's what I'm saying. He did enough to not to win anyway.
He has a 66.7% completion percentage. His passer rating, he has a 101.1
101 passer rating in that game.
He has a 101.4 passer rating in general for the 2 games. For both games. But Khaled, let me hear what you got to say because let me hear what you got to say.
I don't think he's gonna lead them to the Super Bowl. I think they're gonna be stopped by the Patriots. And
they're not even gonna get to the Patriots.
They're not gonna get.
Don't even give them that respect. They're not gonna get to the
Come
Patriots.
on, you ain't gonna do that.
All right, wait. Finish your point. Finish your point,
to the Brockweiler.
Let me keep going.
But yeah, I don't think he's gonna be able to play at that level, that high Super Bowl level, Super Bowl playoff level that he needs to.
And who did he play last week? I can't.
It was the Bears. Don't get the Bears just beat the Packers a few weeks ago.
Defense.
The Bears aren't a bad team.
The Packers aren't the Packers that we thought they were.
The
Bears
Bears
not who we thought they were.
But who do we think anybody is anymore? We thought the Falcons were. It's like this.
We never thought the Falcons were good.
No, but it's like
when they won against the Titans by 3 points, I knew they weren't good.
But it's like the Panthers aren't what we thought they were. And nobody is who we thought they were. That's the thing.
Hold on. I have to pause this real quick because I have to give Rashad his props. He did call that they were an elite team, and I will acknowledge that I was wrong that they are an elite team because they are not what I thought that they were.
Exactly, but that's.
Game doesn't make an elite team though because they won because Tony Romo threw 2 pick sixes. And if you look at the score,
but I mean,
the score was 19-13. If you look at it,
Rashad, don't
take them away.
No.
I mean, the team is great.
Guys,
the team is good.
We're talking about the Broncos. How do we go? Why are we talking about Thanksgiving? That was last week.
He brought up my Cowboys.
I mean, you got to look at it. You can't
brought up the Cowboys.
You can't recede your elite card because they beat the Cowboys.
No.
I mean, it still takes a defense. It still takes a good defense to force turnovers and score turnovers. Oh my God! Not Tony Romo was scared, but coming into the game, you was picking them. You were saying Tony's gonna torch them. They're not gonna handle his offense and everything. And now Tony Romo was scared, and now the defense ain't elite. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my God!
Tony Romo was scared to get hurt. That's what happened.
Tony Nomo.
Rashad is having a seat, but I think the Patriots are gonna go to the Super Bowl. But I just want to play devil's advocate with y'all. I mean, if we talk about Mark Sanchez got to the AFC Championship with a great defense, and we can't compare this to Matt Hasselbeck because he doesn't have that defense.
But he's undefeated.
Matt Hasselbeck, and so is Brock Osweiler. Brock Osweiler is undefeated, and Brock Osweiler has a better team than Matt Hasselbeck. So why is it not so beyond?
What's that? I mean, that's showing that Matt Hasselbeck is winning with a bad team.
That's actually in a bad division. No, but I'm saying, but my case
South is now stronger than the NFC East. That's all.
But what I'm trying to say, I'm not comparing it to. I'm saying you brought up Matt Hasselbeck. You said it's like trying to say Matt Hasselbeck. I'm saying the reason why we can't say Matt Hasselbeck is because their team definitely won't beat the Patriots. The team won't beat the Broncos.
But the team did beat the Broncos.
In the playoffs, Rashad. I'm talking about in the playoffs. I'm talking.
They beat them
it's a different. It's the same thing. If you say, it's just like saying.
The only thing that affects is the Seahawks.
Can I finish?
Yeah,
it's just like saying when people say, "Oh, NBA playoff basketball, the Clippers can throw all these lobs in the regular season and stuff," but when you have to play a team in the playoffs, for some reason, all that just changes. It's the same thing when you go into the playoffs in the NFL. Some things might work. The read option worked great for the Redskins in the regular season. The minute they got to the playoffs, the Seahawks shut that down. RG3 did do the.
It did work.
No, RG3
they were going to win that game before.
No, but it wasn't the read option that was helping them win that game. It wasn't the read option. Yeah, RG3's passing was on point, but then he got hurt. So that's the thing. People start watching tape on you from the regular season and start getting hip to how to stop you from the regular season.
The regular season trying to stop you. They just can't.
Yeah, but I'm saying, in the playoffs, you have more clips and everything to watch a team and learn how to stop that team. There's a reason why the regular season game against the Patriots and Colts came down to it like last year, and then in the playoffs, the Patriots blew them out. They destroyed them. It's playoff football. Playoff football.
The Patriots love playing cat and mouse with teams.
I mean,
they make you think that you have a chance, a la Broncos. So when they play you in the playoffs, they can obliterate you.
Essentially,
you can't necessarily say that. You don't ever know. Any given Sunday, what can happen.
They're gonna crush.
Any given Sunday, anything can happen. But my point is like, why are we sliding this team? If Mark Sanchez led team got to the AFC Championship, I mean, they did lose, but I'm saying they got to the. But Brock Osweiler has played better than them, and he's played better than Mark Sanchez.
Everybody talking about like when Mark Sanchez came to the league, like he was a legend when he came to the league.
No, at USC he was nice. At USC, Mark Sanchez was nice.
And he wasn't first season, and he made it. Everybody was like, "Yo, this dude is for real, the truth." And then what happened.
Y'all are talking about the franchise here. You're talking about you're talking about one of the greatest USC quarterbacks to ever come out. So,
but the case in point is the fact Mark Sanchez didn't play that well. Mark Sanchez is notoriously known at this point for the butt fumble. But what carried that team to the AFC Championship was obviously the defense. So
he had good play though. Mark Sanchez was playing
and Brock Osweiler is playing well. That's the thing. He has a one-on-one passer race.
But I'm saying that he's still going to make it.
But that's the question. But that's the question. Can they make it to the Super Bowl? That is the.
We already answered it.
I know, but I agree that they will lose to the Patriots. I'm saying, why is it like we're acting like, oh, there's no way. There's no way. It's like there's a chance they could make it to the Super Bowl. I mean, the AFC. What's it called? What do you call it? The dominoes fall in their favor, which happened to a couple of teams recently. I mean, you have it that just so happened last year Carson Palmer got hurt in the NFC. You know, the Seahawks didn't have to go through the Cardinals last year. The Seahawks run into the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs. The Seahawks, you don't have to play, and Cardinals. The Cardinals are arguably. Y'all played the Packers. Oh yeah, they ran into the Panthers. They ran into the Panthers instead of the Cardinals. Yeah, at home. So they instead of playing the Cardinals, they ran into the Packers. My fault. And then there's too many P teams. There's too many P teams. So think about how the dominoes fall right for you. So imagine if somehow the Broncos, because if they're number 1 or 2, you end up playing. Say you play a Pittsburgh Steelers team in the wild, or you play a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers that comes out of the wild card, and they have an injured Big Ben, or you play a Texans team that we all know their quarterback position isn't all that. No,
the best quarterback in the AFC right now. Well, AFC South.
Whoa.
I was honestly about to flip it off. Like I was legit.
I should still flip because that statement's still not accurate.
He's playing a lot better than any other quarterback in the AFC South
because he has DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins, the best quarterback helper in the AFC South.
Yeah, point.
That's the same statement.
Yeah, point. Whenever you see a Texans highlight, who is it? DeAndre Hopkins.
He's the most targeted wide receiver.
He didn't score this game at all.
He's the most targeted wide receiver in the league, though.
DeAndre Hopkins didn't score this game.
Okay, but at the end of the day, he's the most targeted.
You cannot score and still have an impact. I've seen games with Todd Gurley.
But they played the Saints, who don't even put a secondary on the field.
I'm just saying, Bron, like that team right there. That team might be able to actually make a little noise in the playoffs.
Well, that team,
might be able to give them.
But I'm saying, my point is, would that team beat the Broncos?
I think that team could probably possibly beat the Broncos.
Rashad, if you had to pick, would you pick that team against the Broncos right now?
With a quarterback?
With the quarterbacks as they stand right now, Brock Osweiler. I really don't think Rashad likes the Broncos.
I have no problem with the Broncos, but with the way the Texans are playing right now,
no.
Yes.
But you can say the same thing with the way the Broncos are playing right now. Since Brock Osweiler took over, they haven't lost, and they actually have a running game. They actually have a running game with Brock in there versus when Peyton Manning was playing. Their running game's been way more productive with Brock Osweiler versus.
Run for 100 yards this week. I can't
really say what's it called? CJ Anderson did
this week.
Yes.
And who scored? The two touchdowns came from Ronnie Hillman.
So everything was. CJ Anderson's the one that scored.
The 48-yard touchdown then was CJ Anderson.
For the game-winning touchdown?
For the game-winning touchdown.
CJ Anderson scored 2 touchdowns this week. Ronnie Hillman scored 1.
Okay, it was the other way around then.
Yeah.
My fault. Excuse me. The other way around. Mm-hmm. But he ran for 100 yards this week. 100 what?
113.
All right.
He averaged 7 yards a carry. Ronnie Hillman averaged 4. Hey. I'm telling you, their team. I'm not trying to throw shade on Peyton Manning or nothing, but their team has performed better with Brock Osweiler back there because teams have to respect that Brock can throw the deep ball, which he has done. That's what he did on the game-winning the lead-giving touchdown drive in the fourth quarter.
The one thing I will say about that is though, Kubiak's offense also fits Brock Osweiler a lot better than it does Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning has no mobility at all, and Kubiak likes to run a lot of naked boots and play action type passes that Peyton Manning isn't accustomed to. But if you just let Peyton Manning roll out there and make his checks, Omaha hot sauce and all that, and do his thing, he can tear a defense apart. What I'm saying is from Brock Osweiler, I'm not saying that. Like, we have a very small sample size to be saying that he could take a team to the Super Bowl. He played against the Bears. Even though they beat the Packers, we do have to acknowledge this is not the Bears defense that used to have Brian Urlacher and Peanut Tillman on it. This is a horrible version of the Bears defense. Then you play against a very injured Patriots team where the running backs did a lot of the heavy lifting. You just listed off that running backs accounted for 3 touchdowns. Peyton Manning didn't get any of that when he was playing, when he was starting for the Broncos. So I think we have a very small sample size. I think Brock has done a serviceable job as a step in. But by the time you get to the playoffs and teams have got time to watch film on what Brock is good at and what he's not, they'll capitalize on that and they will expose him. So I don't think that they have a very good chance of making it to the Super Bowl.
I think they ran into the Patriots. I mean, the Patriots and the Patriots are healthy. That the Patriots will, even if the Patriots just have Julian Edelman or Danny Amendola, I mean, they have to have Rob Gronkowski. They have to have Rob Gronkowski in order for anything to work. But if they just have one of Edelman or Amendola, I mean, I don't see who's going to beat the Patriots, honestly. But the Patriots need to get back Dante Hightower and Jamie Collins and them because their defense, the minute Dante Hightower went out, they couldn't. Their defense was like it was just in shambles. But what are you going to say, Rashad? We gotta go to the.
Like you said, the Broncos defense is a really good defense, right? But I feel like that's a team that actually complete. If you have a Julian Edelman or Danny Amendola in there, the Broncos defense is a team that can actually keep up with those players. So yeah, having them back will help, but against that defense, I think more so comes to Tom Brady and comes to Brock Osweiler, who has the better game.
Yeah, that's the reason. That's the only reason why we're picking the Patriots to go to the Super Bowl. I mean, that's the only reason why anybody ever thought the Patriots were going to go undefeated because they got 12. I mean, that's the only thing that gives the Patriots the edge over everybody's because they got 12. And I mean, the minute 12 ever went out, it's over. It's over. I'm bringing Ryan Garoppolo.
But I'm saying it's also possible that Brock Osweiler has a better game at that one game.
But I'm saying, but I mean, we're all pretty much choosing the Patriots to go to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
No.
In the
Yeah.
AFC. What?
Who?
He always gotta be that one
who's
guy.
going to the Super Bowl? Sir?
Anybody but the Patriots.
That's not specific. I
Let's-
need a name.
oh,
I need a
no,
name.
I think-
No, I need a
I
name.
think the
I need a
Bengals-
name.
I think the Bengals has a chance.
Okay.
Get out.
I
No.
think.
Wait, no, we can't go into depth. Go on to the next topic. We're going to go on to the association. Talking about one of the greatest to ever do it. Kobe Bryant, announced his retirement on Sunday. Announced his retirement on Sunday, and he, he did it through a poem that was very, heartfelt. He pretty much addressed it to the game of basketball itself, and he also wrote a letter to his fans, and thanked everybody for how they followed him on his basketball journey and everything. And Kobe Bryant's resume as a as a player has been, he's almost unrivaled in some circumstances, except for by like Michael Jordan and whatnot. 5 championships, 1 regular season MVP, 2 finals MVP, 11 first all team NBA selections. He has 15. He's been selected for 17 All-Star games. He has 12 all defensive team selections, 9 of them being first team all defense. He has 15 all NBA. He's made 15 all NBA teams. Like I just said, he made 11 first team, and he has also 4 All-Star game MVPs, and he has 2 Olympic gold medals. So you read off like the list of things that Kobe Bryant's accomplished in his career, and you just start to realize, like, man, like the greatness that's after the season you won't be able to see anymore. I mean, granted, we haven't seen the Kobe Bryant that we all came to know and love since, I would say, since the Achilles tear. I feel like the Kobe Bryant, like, remember how everybody remembered that iconic moment, Michael Jordan's like last shot, pretty much being when he hit that shot in the Bulls' last championship, in the '98 championship, when he hit that shot on Brian Russell, and he hit the step back, made him fall and everything, and hit that shot, and you just remember that image. And well, they didn't call it. Hey, they didn't call it. They didn't call it. That's all you remember is the Jordan shot. That's all you remember. I feel like the last images we remember of Kobe being Kobe was pretty much when he went to the free throw line and hit the 2 free throw shots, even after tearing his Achilles. That's been Kobe's staple throughout his whole career, playing through injuries and everything. So, how do y'all think about how the Kobe should be remembered as he goes on this like farewell tour? And what do you think of his career, how his career has been so far, and how it measures up to the other greats? We'll start off with you, Rashad. What do you think?
I think he should remember it as one of the greatest players to ever play his position and play the game. We never had really anybody to compare to Michael Jordan until Kobe came in the league. He's like the person of our generation who we watched play. And we watched him all the way from basically like his rookie season, come all the way up to winning 5 championships, to making all these All-Star games. We even seen him have his disputes with Shaq and everything. We've been through all of that. Like Kobe was us, just like Jordan was for our parents and stuff like that. So losing someone like this, it's hurtful in the game. Like could we even sit here and just imagine what a game without Kobe would have been like 3 years ago? Like thinking about, man, what's gonna be like when Kobe leaves? Like no one thought about, because Kobe was a warrior. Kobe, played through everything. It was like Kobe's good. Kobe can possibly hit a 40, stuff like that. Like we thought stuff like that. So like losing him in the game of basketball is just it's gonna be different, especially for a Lakers fan. Should be different. Like what are we watching now? What are we looking up to see with the great Kobe Bryant not being there? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. All right, what do you think, Rudy?
I think he's going to be remembered as one of the greatest players to ever play the game. Definite first ballot Hall of Famer. Probably going to walk right out of the NBA and into a job as an analyst, or maybe even in somebody's front office. I think we need to remember Kobe for his competitive spirit and all the things that he did for the Lakers, instead of this last, run he's been on, because this isn't really Kobe. This is what's left of Kobe after his body has been through the war and whatnot. But one of the greatest to ever do it. Very sad day for basketball, knowing that he's leaving. And it's just one of those things where when you think Lakers, you think Kobe. Not even, and to me, it's not even Kobe and Shaq. I just think Kobe. So it's gonna be weird seeing the Lakers next year with 24 nor 8 being there. It's just weird. I feel maybe he'll stay with the organization in some sort of coaching capacity or in the front office.
I don't think he wants to coach.
I don't think he's not. When I say coach, I don't mean like head coach, like be on the sideline still, or in the front office doing something with the Lakers. But yeah, or even in practice, I don't think he's gonna go away from basketball. I don't think Kobe could ever separate himself from basketball completely.
I see a lot more Kobe games opening up.
All right, what do you say, Khalid?
Definitely one of the best players to ever play the game. Arguably one of the only players to ever compare out to Michael Jordan. He's one of the most iconic players of the whole Lakers franchise, and the Black Mamba. He definitely will be remembered as a legend. He is definitely one just amazing player. He's a great leader, one of the most competitive spirits to play the game. He definitely changed the face of basketball when he came in with a nice fro, looking clean. So the Black Mamba, he definitely made his staple into the organization as well as the NBA. And I guess when he's gone, like it's gonna be completely just different. People, Lakers fans, they really gonna miss him. Not seeing Kobe up there, like Rudy was saying, not seeing 24 anymore. I definitely think they're gonna be like, man, I wish Kobe was up here. Wish he was in this game playing. Even though Kobe has been playing like the old Kobe, just seeing him on the court or seeing his leadership with the players, it's just an amazing thing to see.
So, what do you guys think about the fact that currently the Lakers sit at 2-14, and this season Kobe's he's not his best season. He's shooting practically 30% field goal percentage, shooting 20% from three, and he's averaging 15 points and 3 assists and 4 rebounds. Do y'all think that Kobe should play out the whole season, or you think he should just retire now?
I think he should, finish his whole season out last season. Nope. Kobe's not a person who should quit in the middle of a season. He's not a quitter. Kobe's a warrior. And 30% isn't good, but 15 points is still a lot more than what a lot of players in the league average. It's not accustomed to what we're seeing with Kobe Bryant. So I think he should finish the season out last season. Nobody's gonna at the end of the day, nobody's gonna look at this season and be like, this season right here is what decreases his value at how great of a player he was. This season won't have no effect on that at all. So yeah, you should finish the season out because it's his last season. Might as well go to every place one more time.
All right, Rudy, what do you think?
I agree with Rashad. He should go ahead and finish this season out. This has no bearing on his legacy or anything like that. And I still am holding on to hope for that one game where he drops like 40. I do think he still has it in him. I'm going to be rooting for him every step of the way. And like Rashad said, this is his shot to give every city in the NBA their last chance to get a look at Kobe. Like, this is your last shot. This season is your last shot. I think the tickets for the very last Lakers game tripled in price once he announced his retirement. So this is a big deal. This is a really big deal that he's walking away from the game. So I think he should go ahead and finish. He's never been one to quit. We saw when he tore his Achilles, he shot those free throws and then walked off the court. Barring injury or anything drastic happening, he should stick around, play through the season, groom D'Angelo Russell and whoever else is there that needs to be groomed, and then curtain call. It's done.
Khalid, what do you think?
Definitely finish off the rest of the season. I think leaving right now, he isn't playing as well, but just finishing off the season. Not finishing off the season wouldn't be Kobe, So definitely he should finish off the season. Like Rudy was saying, just be a teacher to some of the players that he wants to give the torch to. Lead this Lakers team to just lead them to a better Lakers team without him.
There's one thing that about this whole Kobe Bryant retirement thing that's made me so sad. It's just the fact of the matter. Like, Stephen A. Smith reiterates the same thing, and I feel exactly how he feels, especially with being a Laker fan. It's you saw the running of Kobe. You saw the franchise the minute Jerry Buss died. You saw the turn our franchise took, and you saw just how you saw where like the Lakers you saw the Lakers not become the Lakers anymore. Like the minute Jerry Buss died, when he first initially got sick, actually a few years ago, and Jim Buss and Jeannie Buss took over basketball operations, and you see the supporting cast Kobe has with him now. And once to like question like who expected a 37-year-old player to carry this team to the playoffs or even keep this team relevant? It's like what in when you think about the past seasons that have taken place for the Lakers. A few years ago, we have Mike Brown as our head coach. You know, and then I think about what 5 or 8 games into the season, Lakers fire him, bring on Matt, and that's when we had Dwight Howard. We had Dwight Howard at this point in time, and the Lakers, and then Dwight Howard made it painfully clear he would have stayed if Phil Jackson, or he wanted Phil Jackson as the head coach, but the Lakers went around and hired Mike D'Antoni to cater to the happenings of Steve Nash, who at the time was like a 39-year-old, 38-year-old point guard. So then you go and bring on Mike D'Antoni thinking that he's going to have the Steve Nash of old, Phoenix Suns Steve Nash, when Steve Nash couldn't even finish half a season for the Lakers. I think when you culminate all of Steve Nash's games played, doesn't match up to reach half a season as for the Lakers. So you bring on a head coach that didn't suit the system for Dwight Howard or Kobe Bryant, because then you ended up running and gunning Kobe Bryant to the point you ran him into the ground. I mean, like he was at that point in time, I say he was 35, 36, playing like 40 minutes, 38 minutes. So it's essentially he got pretty much ran into the ground by his coaching staff. Like Kobe's averages of that season, the last season we remember Kobe Bryant being Kobe Bryant, where he got essentially got injured. What he was averaging 27.3 points, 5.6 rebounds, and 6 assists. Like the man was he was a beast. Like this is Kobe Bryant at 35 years old now. Like he was still great, and he essentially got ran to the ground by them. The Lakers, Jim Buss alienated Phil Jackson, didn't bring him back. So you just sit there and you see the decline, you see the digression of Kobe Bryant's health, and you can only attribute it to the fact that he hasn't had the cast around him. Because I don't think this fall from grace would have been so bad if, say, Kobe Bryant had a team that his supporting so much wouldn't be put on him. Like if Kobe Bryant had a Spurs-esque team or Miami Heat type kind of team, like Dwayne Wade, the only reason why Dwayne Wade's fall or his injuries have been marked so badly or even been noticed so badly is because of the fact that they were in the finals so much because of LeBron James, and LeBron needed extra help, and Dwayne Wade wasn't there. But we see now when Dwayne Wade plays, his team is good enough that Dwayne Wade still plays like Dwayne Wade in glimpses, but he doesn't have to be full throttle Dwayne Wade all the time. So he's able to reserve his health. Whereas the Lakers, it's like Kobe Bryant didn't get that benefit because his team never had the talent that he needed to help him have that buffer or help him keep that rest. Kobe Bryant was always grinding out 38, 40 type minute nights. And even the rookies at this point in time in the season, Byron Scott is not. D'Angelo Russell only plays 26 minutes a game, and he's the starting point guard. And you have to wonder, like, why? And Kobe Bryant still plays more minutes than him at this current time, and Kobe Bryant's 37 years old. So you start to wonder. Granted, Kobe Bryant did sit out some games to rest, but you wonder sometimes, like, man, like, would the organization return back to what it once was, like with Jerry Buss being gone? Because you sit there and you just think, like, because even Michael Jordan's waning years in Washington, Michael averaged 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. Michael Jordan was that dude. Now Michael ain't nobody compete with Michael Jordan, but you have to also think about the fact that people knew how to handle Michael's minutes and stuff as it was, and so a lot of it is like Kobe Bryant plays 31 minutes right now a game, and he's the senior guy on the team, and yet he's playing. He even said in his interview, he said LeBron and them guys are the veterans in the league. At this point, I'm the triple OG because he's that old. Like Kobe in basketball years, he's technically that old. So I'm just a Laker fan that's upset with how bad we are. We stink. We stink.
Horrible.
Yeah, go ahead.
When I tell my kids about Kobe, you got to tell them in 2 segments. You got to tell them first there was the number 8 Kobe. Then you got to tell them there was the number 24 Kobe. You got to separate it. You can't just tell them there was just Kobe. You got to tell them about both. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying.
Both Kobe's. Now, granted, Kobe number 8. Both Kobe's were great.
They were great.
Both Kobe's were great.
Like a chapter book.
You do have to tell. I mean, that's why I feel like a lot of people are alluding to the fact that's where Kobe's gonna entertain in his post career. He's gonna entertain a lot of stuff that has to do with stories and documentaries. Like in this last season, he's had a camera crew constantly follow him around everywhere he's gone, because I think he's really into like the telling a story kind of thing. He's into like just being able to breed his own story and stuff. So I feel like that's the next chapter for him in a sense, to some degree. But staying in basketball, we're gonna talking about Kobe Bryant. Another superstar actually had comments about Kobe Bryant and actually felt some kind of way about the media, technically us, about how people have talked about Kobe Bryant. Kevin Durant in an interview said, "I did idolize Kobe Bryant. I studied him, wanted to be like him. He was our Michael Jordan. I watched Michael toward the end of his career with the Wizards, and I seen that that's what Kobe emerged as the guy for us. I've been disappointed this year because you guys, the media, treated him like expletive. He's a legend, and all I hear is about how bad he's playing, how bad he's shooting. Time for him to hang it up. You guys treated one of our legends like expletive, and I didn't really like it. Hopefully now you can start being nice to him now that he decided to retire after this year. It was sad the way he was getting treated. He had an amazing career, a guy who changed the game for me as a player mentally and physically. It means so much to the game of basketball. Someone I'm always going to look to for advice. Just a brilliant, intelligent man. Sad to see him go. He put his mark on the game." So how do you guys feel about Kevin Durant's comments? And do you think he has a point that the media technically has treated Kobe wrong in his last stint as a Laker, his last, his waning years as a Laker? Rudy, we'll start off with you. What do you think?
For once, I'll actually agree with Kevin Durant on his stance against the media. Kobe's been the butt of a lot of jokes this season and a lot of poking fun of and pointing out this and that, instead of focusing on as a whole how great he is and his career was. Now that people know and it's out in the open that he's going through his last ride, maybe they'll let up some. But Kevin Durant was correct. They have been, being a little bit unfair with the treatment of Kobe and his play, knowing the issues that he's had physically and whatnot, and the fact that he's still willing to go out there and play 31 minutes for a team that's not going anywhere fast. So hopefully now that they know he's retiring, things will change around a little bit and we'll start to appreciate Kobe. We'll start to see some of those ESPN Sports Center top 10 Kobe moments of his career or something like that.
Yeah, they started,
so,
he was on Snapchat, on ESPN Snapchat the other day.
Yeah, so I just think that's something that needs to change, and I actually agree with Kevin Durant this time.
All right, Khalid, what do you think?
I'm gonna have to disagree with Kevin Durant on one point. I don't think that they're necessarily. I mean, they are like making him the butt of a couple jokes, but they're also just reporting on his performance as well. I mean, Kobe has been performing as the best as the Kobe we used to know, and he's playing not very well, so they're just reporting that. I mean, some of the comments and jokes and stuff like that may be unnecessary. I mean, it comes with media and stuff like that, but I do think that like after like he announced his retirement, that there will be a big shift in just admiration and just praising Kobe Bryant for what he's done in his career. And I do think that it should have been done before, like saying how great he was or whatever like that, highlighting his career. But like I said, the media just covers what they see, and they have to show the people that Kobe isn't playing well. I mean, jokes would ever come, but definitely they have to report what they see.
All right, Rashad, what do you think?
I agree 100% with Kevin Durant. I think with the media, with Sports Center, with all that stuff done with Kobe, it's just wrong. I mean, I've said Kobe played bad. I've been saying Kobe played bad, but I haven't been like, yep, it's time for him to go ahead and hang it up after this game. Nah, stuff like that is just wrong. And then just for you to, because he announced it, now you want to tribute everything to Kobe Bryant. I think that's so beat up that why can you like, I mean, a lot of us assume that was his last season. Why couldn't you just start doing that now? Why you gotta wait till he announces it and then be like, oh, we're gonna miss you, Kobe, instead of Kobe, you suck. You should hang it up after the jersey. I mean, after this game, put the jersey away now. You ain't doing that team no good. Just stuff like that. It bothers me. And I understand how Kevin Durant is feeling about it. Because seeing all this now, it honestly, makes me toss and turn when I sleep, because all they want to do now is praise Kobe for how good he was, just because he announced his retirement. Instead of doing it, everybody knows this was a hurt season. This is a 37-year-old man fighting as much as he can to be the savior for that team. And but to people, because he's not averaging 25 like you normally do, 27, they feel like, yep, they're going to just talk bad about him and stuff like that. So yeah, what Kevin Durant said was right. They did treat him like crap. So basically, I don't know. I just don't feel like they're doing him right. And for them to bring up the tribute and stuff now and showing all this top 10 stuff, nah, they continue what you're doing, because you're not making anything better.
Yeah, I agree with you too, but I also see what Khalid was saying, because they do need a report on this stuff. But like, because the way I feel like they were kind of sliding Kobe was like, they feel like, oh, he doesn't realize how bad he's playing. But Kobe consistently would say, I'm playing like garbage or whatever. So I feel like the media, they kind of did do him disservice. It's like they played him in a sense. It's like, even on this show, we've said Kobe shot terribly. We've noted it. We've said it on this show, Kobe shot terribly. But we never were like pushing him out the door. Like, it feels like
we never said retire for this game.
Yeah, it feels like they've almost pushed him out the door to an extent. And to that, I feel like it's wrong. Like, I hate when you wait till like a person's career is over to honor how great they are. Like, a lot of people are going to do the same thing with LeBron James. I mean, granted, LeBron James getting the praise now, but even LeBron James prime years ago, the media was just coming for LeBron James for to some extent. Like, it seemed like after when he left from Cleveland to go to Miami, everybody wanted LeBron to lose. And you just saw how many people were waiting like piranhas to get on LeBron James for the loss. But nobody noted how LeBron James got them there with his performances against the Celtics, how much he averaged in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, people wait. It feels like greatness, like these players become elevated only after their careers are over. And it feels like if Kobe would have retired years ago, like, the media would have been like, oh, that's how we wanted you to go out. But he wanted to come back and try to fight for this team. He wanted to come out and prove, because he hasn't technically played a whole season in 2 to 3 years. So in his mind, he's like, well, technically, I'm technically still a 35-year-old dude in my body and stuff. And he just came out. He tested the waters for 16 games. He hasn't played like the Kobe he wanted to play like. So that's when he announced it. Yeah. But the media is pretty much like, just domed him out for it. Like, let's not forget, this man has no team. He has a rookie in D'Angelo Russell sharing the wing with him. He's playing small forward now for the team, trying to do whatever he can to help the team. But your starting lineup consists of D'Angelo Russell, a rookie, Jordan Clarkson, a sophomore player in the league, Julius Randle, who's technically a rookie, and Roy Hibbert, who's old, who's pretty much damaged goods since leaving Indiana. He hasn't been the Roy Hibbert that had that playoff run. Roy Hibbert hasn't even been a great player for like one whole season. He's just had one great playoff run, and that got no like credibility for that. So you give that man a supporting cast like that, and you expect him to be able to play like that. He's not the same number 8 Kobe that you gave him that supporting cast. He's gonna go out and drop 60 points in 3 quarters. Like, he's not that same dude. He's 37 years old, and it's just sad to see. Like, it took him having to announce his retirement for people to be like, okay, now that you have admitted that this is your last season, now we'll accept the bad play. No, you have to understand, he's 37 years old. He's trying his best. I mean, you can sometimes, you can see the shots Kobe takes. I'm like, he doesn't always have the best shot selection, but I mean, it's Kobe Bryant. So you can say, oh, he's not saying Kobe from before, whatever you want to say. But I mean, if he's not taking those shots, and a lot of times people look at Kobe's field goal percentage, they don't realize that a lot of times he's getting the ball late in the shot clock from his teammates. They do that, or they give him the ball late in the shot clock, and it's like, what is he supposed to make out of that? Then, or he'll get forced into a bad shot because the offense breaks down. Everybody just starts looking at him. It's just always some scenarios that don't, a lot of things going. If you watch a Laker game, it's painful to watch the Lakers play right now. Like, there are shots you see Kobe that he would normally hit. You're like, okay, he's missing some kind of things. But when the Lakers played the Golden State Warriors last week, when the Warriors initially were going to go above that 15 win streak, and they're going to 16 games, and you watch the Lakers play, legit, the only shred of a offensive like that looked like productive offense was D'Angelo Russell, who shot 4 of 7 in that game. Other than that, you look at the team, you're just like, how is anybody supposed to work with this? Like, even LeBron James would not have come to this team to play on this team or even think he could carry. LeBron James in his prime probably can get this team to the playoffs, but they lose immediately in this Western Conference. So you have to note that he's playing in the toughest conference there is, playing these teams 4 times in the year, most of the time, because he's in the toughest conference there is, and he's in one of the toughest divisions there is too. He's in the same divisions as the Golden State Warriors, the Clippers, the Suns, and the Sacramento Kings. So the top 3 teams of that division are all arguably playoff teams. The Suns just missed the playoffs last year, along, and then the Clippers and Golden State made it. Golden State's the best team in the league.
Suns barely missed it too.
Yeah, the Suns barely missed it, and then you have the Clippers who went to 7 games last year with the Rockets, and we're in the playoffs. So you just look at it and you're like, he's not playing against like scrubs now. He's playing against the best of the best, and yet the media never gave him credit for it until it was all over, which is pretty sad because when you remember how like the greatness Kobe has been, like you sit there and you kind of, it's like you feel happy for Kobe because it's finally you're just like he gets to go on this farewell tour, he gets to get appreciated and everything, but it's sad in the same sense because it's like he wasn't fully appreciated to the extent near the end of his career that he should have been. And also a quick thing before we go to the next topic, a lot of people slighted Kobe for us not being able to get free agents. When I mean I think how your overall team looks also factors into that. Like people are saying, oh, Kobe Bryant's contract does this, does that, or affects how people want to come to the Lakers. You don't realize the fact that if a second best player on our team is Jordan Clarkson or D'Angelo Russell, who isn't proven in the league, what is going to make LaMarcus Aldridge going to want to come to this team over the San Antonio Spurs? What is going to make him want to come to this team, or even want to come to this team more than he wants to stay with the Portland Trailblazers? The Portland Trailblazers, he had Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, and a whole other players. But the Lakers, the best thing we have is Swaggy P. Oh, and almost some circumstances, the most bright player that looks the feature our future looks best for is Jordan Clarkson, but the best player we technically have right now is Swaggy P. So it's like when you look at it, like what free agent is going to want to come to that? People try to put it on Kobe. Kobe is Kobe's too alpha. Yeah, he's too alpha, too hard on people. But you got to look at it from the aspect of the point of the Lakers, head office hasn't done much to give Kobe help or even to put him in a position to the fact that we can get free agents and we'll be able to get players that, will inevitably get them to the playoffs. But what were you going to say, Rashad? You rather say something?
No, I was just basically saying how like people didn't want to play because, they'd be like, Kobe's too hard on people. That's why Dwight said Kobe was too hard and stuff like that. He just wants everybody to get better. He wants to win. And we don't have that team. That's why, people like, especially other like top players go to the Eastern Conference because it's an easier chance to win as well. So I mean, because even when Kobe retires, I don't see free agents still wanting to choose Los Angeles as a destination.
You don't have anything.
Because there's even when you had Kobe Bryant, you still had that mentorship, and that's for like some players will still want that, but they feel like he's not there anymore. What are we gonna do? Who's gonna help us get better? Who's gonna be other than me trying to help them get better? Who's gonna help me get better? You know what I'm saying? So even when he retires, nobody's gonna want to come there still. It's more so gonna be a draft building a team off the draft because Los Angeles is not an attractive place right now. As you went to the Clippers, it's not attractive. It's not attractive at all. It's actually having no pieces there. And paying Kobe that money, he deserved that money for everything he did for this franchise. So he deserved that money. So for people to bag him on his money, I mean, I know I said some stuff about it too. I was like, maybe you should have took less money to bring people in, but at the same time, people still gonna come in because we offered max contracts to people and they still didn't come.
See, for me, the stance has always been Kobe, get your money because nobody was gonna come to this team in the first place. Dwight Howard left. You know what I mean? Like we have a resume of people having left after Jerry West, passed, or after he got Jerry Buss, my fault, Jerry Buss, after he got sick and then inevitably passed. Nobody wanted to come to this team or stay with this team. So it's one of those things. I was like, you're the person that's bringing in everybody now. The only reason why the Lakers seats are going to be filled now is because people know Kobe Bryant's retiring. Nobody's coming to see anybody else. Probably at the beginning of the season, people wanted to see how D'Angelo Russell was going to play, and D'Angelo Russell hasn't played bad now. He hasn't played bad at all. But yeah, the coach. I mean, when your rookie's only playing 26 minutes, I mean that's your starting point guard. You don't play him in the fourth quarter. Like what is that going to do for him? So but that's one of the things D'Angelo Russell looked forward to when he came to the Lakers. He said, I'm gonna love being in Los Angeles, but mostly I'm gonna love to learn to be able to learn from Kobe Bryant, whatever, to see his work ethic and stuff. Some people embrace that. Some players are, same with Julius Randle. Some players embrace it. Some people shy away from it. Dwight Howard shied away from it. D'Angelo Russell wants to take on more from it. LaMarcus Aldridge said the best thing of the free agency meeting, because people try to say all this stuff about that LaMarcus Aldridge was turned off by Kobe, but LaMarcus Aldridge came out to the defense of Kobe weeks ago and said Kobe Bryant was the best part of the meeting because he pretty much just gave me the feel that like he wants to win. And and he was the best part of the meeting versus all the other stuff that they try to pitch to him about.
The money.
Yeah, the money and the LA lore and becoming a celebrity. You know, Kobe's always got his eye on the prize. So I mean, Kobe Bryant's career at the end of the day is one of the best of all time. You know, probably on Thursday we'll be having a debate of where he ranks amongst the best. You know, who knows? But you know, we'll probably be talking about something like that because that's how great a career he's had that he gets mentioned in the same breath. I mean, it's undoubted that he's 1 and 2 with Jordan for best shooting guard of all time. And then when you talk about best scorers, he's definitely up there. I mean, the man holds the second best scoring output in league history of 81 points. I mean, he outscored the Dallas Mavericks at one time. In 3 quarters, he outscored them by himself. Sorry, Rudy, I know that's your team, but it's the truth. I mean, and he didn't play the 4th quarter. The man didn't play the 4th quarter, so who can imagine how much he would have scored?
He's like, you don't want to get punched in the back of the head, right?
I'm just saying, hey, Kobe punched him in the back of the head. But go.
Do I need to bring up what happened in the playoffs?
You can bring up what happened in the playoffs, but I mean, at the end of the day, Lakers got how many championships? The Mavericks got 1.
Hey, we swept y'all under the carpet to get
you
that
swept.
one.
You did sweep us. You're right. But I mean, at the end of the day, how many championships did the Mavericks got? I'll wait. It's Kobe's pinky finger, right?
We went through Kobe to get that championship.
I'm just saying it's Kobe's pinky finger, right?
We went through Kobe to get that championship.
You went through everybody. Yeah, you went through everybody.
Respect our championship.
I'm not disrespecting, but respect Kobe's also. He went through a lot of people.
Oh no, I respect it. I just didn't like that shot that you had to throw out there. You didn't have to mention that. No, you didn't have to mention that.
Score he was.
You could have mentioned the Raptors. You could have mentioned the
Raptors.
I
said 81 points. I said 81 points.
No, you could have mentioned how he outscored their whole team, basically. But you had to mention the Mavericks.
But he didn't
you
outscore
had to mention the Mavericks.
He didn't outscore
it's okay.
The whole team.
It's okay.
He outscored the Mavericks.
We'll enjoy whooping you guys for the next 5 years.
Okay. Yeah, but unless you won that championship, what is it then?
Huh? It's just us whooping you and me being happy.
Okay. Consolation prize, right?
Yeah, basically.
Well, how many years were we whooping y'all before y'all won a championship?
Not many, because you met us in the playoffs once and you got swept.
No. But you're talking about you're gonna beat on us in the regular season. How many times did we beat on y'all in the regular season?
Well, I'm sorry that you can't make the playoffs.
Now you're changing your thing, huh?
Just saying the Mavericks are in the playoff race right now.
But unless you win that championship,
we're relevant.
But here's the thing. Why would you want to be in the playoff
So about
race?
the NFL coaches that need to be fired.
No. Let me get this one point across real quick. So why would you want to be that 7th, 8th team, AC team in the playoffs, not being able to get good draft picks or anything, not attracting big free agents because DeAndre Jordan did leave y'all, not being able to get quality free agents? You're in that realm nobody wants to be in when you're sitting there at 7th or 8th. You're not really getting good draft picks. You're not winning. So who wants to be there?
I mean, if we're being technical right now, the Mavericks are actually number 5 or number 4. So
let the season progress.
Let
the season progress on. Let the season progress.
And as we've seen, DeAndre Jordan leaving us actually wasn't a bad thing because Zaza Pachulia has been playing great and DeAndre hasn't really been playing that great. So yeah, in the grand scheme of things, what you say is supposed to sting and hurt and whatnot. But
it's the truth.
I mean, no. But when you say we're not getting free agents, we got Chandler Parsons, we got Wesley Matthews, and these aren't scrubs. And unless you want to correct me and say that they are scrubs,
they're role players.
I mean, but they're still quality players. They're still better than what the Lakers will be able to get from here on out.
Rudy, you will be in the same predicament as us in 1 to 2 years.
No,
when Dirk Nowitzki leaves, you guys will be just like us.
Not really, because Dirk's role on this team right now is very minimal.
You'll still be watching from the side, just like us.
Dirk's had a great season.
No, I'm not saying he's not having a great season, but he's not the guy that we know that we have to count on. We have players around him that can still do the thing. We've had multiple games where Durant Williams has been our leading scorer, where Wesley Matthews has been our leading scorer, where Chandler Parsons has been our leading scorer. We don't need Dirk to do what y'all are asking Kobe to do.
You're a 7th, 8th place team with Dirk on the team. When Dirk is gone, you're nothing.
We were literally in 3rd place like a game ago.
Rudy, we were also 16 games into the season. We're also.
Oh, when I tried to make this argument like 2 weeks ago, it didn't matter when you're talking about the best players so far. Don't bring this up to me. No.
But okay, no. Well, hold on a second. Yeah, we did make that case, but I also said and y'all are 5th place in the West. It's not like y'all are number 1 or number 2. Like I said. Like I said, for the best, but I'm saying what I said was who was playing as the best player right now. We're talking about season longevity, and you're talking about y'all swept us one season, y'all gonna beat us in the regular season. But let's not forget all the years Kobe Bryant spent beating on the Mavericks. Let's not act like that gets swept under the rug now because he had one. You had
just
one
like we swept all under the rug.
Exactly. See, that's the only claim to fame that the Mavericks have is oh, we swept the Lakers. But
well, no, the claim
years,
to fame is the fact that we swept y'all on the rug. Then we beat Kevin Durant, and we beat a very good Trailblazers team, and then we beat LeBron when we weren't supposed to. That's the claim to fame. That was just a consolation prize that we beat y'all.
1 year though.
Y'all were the cherry on top.
And I guess you don't remember. I guess you don't remember the year that y'all got to the finals and lost to Dwayne Wade when you were supposed.
No,
to
I
win,
do
right?
remember that. No, I really do remember that. But then again, we were a bigger underdog to LeBron in the Heat than Dwayne Wade was to us.
Y'all were, but I'm saying don't try and like throw jabs at the Lakers. Like
I only threw a counter punch. You threw the jabs.
No, I didn't
threw
throw
the
a jab.
jabs.
I didn't.
Yes, you did. You came out here swinging for the fences. I just had to defend myself.
No, I defended my
about
Lakers
these
team.
NFL coaches that need to be fired.
I'm going to defend my team regardless.
About these NFL coaches that need to be fired.
I'm going to defend my team regardless. Okay. Anyways, going on to the NFL coaches.
Did the beat go off?
Come on, man. We're gonna move on to the NFL and talk about which coaches deserve to be fired the most. Because I mean,
I have a list.
At this
Can
point,
we add GMs too?
If you want to.
I got a list.
At this point, there's plenty of teams that haven't performed how they're supposed to perform. The Saints aren't the same Saints they were from years ago. The Falcons, but Dan Quinn just got, he just got there. So, I'm Mike Pettin with the Browns, Jeff Fisher with the Rams, and then you got Chip Kelly with the Eagles. Maybe even Tom Coughlin with the Giants.
Who?
Tom Coughlin.
No, I'm talking about the one before that.
No, I'm saying Tom Coughlin. But
Chip Kelly.
A lot of these teams, you don't even, and then the coach also. I mean, granted, he just got to the AFC Championship last year, but
let's just get into it.
As we've seen,
I'm excited.
So starting off, what coaches do y'all think, or what coach do y'all think deserve to get fired the most? Khalid, we'll start off with you. Who do you think?
High five.
Chip Kelly.
Damn.
Right off the bat.
Chip Kelly, because my man's worked to get every player that he wanted on his team. He wanted to get all his pieces for his offense.
Mm-hmm.
He got which one? He got. I forgot. I'm just tired.
He got rid of Sean McCoy, got rid of Deshaun Jackson, got rid of Jeremy Maclin, got rid of Nick Foles, got rid of everybody. He got rid of
Kiko Alonso.
Kiko Alonso.
Brought in DeMarco Murray and doesn't use him the correct way.
Matt Stafford
doesn't use him.
Sam Bradford. I think Matt Stafford. Sam Bradford.
Yeah, Matt Stafford. They be cooking.
Probably.
Yeah,
Brian and Nelson Aguilar have both been horrible wide receiver picks.
All right,
go ahead, Khalid. My man's got the pieces that he wants to make his offense look nice, and he's not winning the division, and it's crazy because the Redskins and the Giants are tied for the first place in the division, and right
HTT.
Wait, let him keep going.
And I mean, he got this great team. We expecting them to look just amazing this season, and they just fell short. So I do think my man's needs to reconsider his decisions because he said that he wasn't considering taking the coaching job at USC. But I mean, he about to get fired pretty soon, so he might as well consider something.
All right, Rashad, what do you think?
I agree with Khalid. Chip Kelly's Little League offense don't work anymore. You see what happened when he lost LaShawn McCoy and Nick Foles. Basically, his two greatest pieces he had for that team that made his Little League offense work. He brought in DeMarco Murray, who does like you said, don't use him the right way. Got him running sideline to sideline instead of right up the middle. You saw what he did in Dallas when he ran up the hole.
Doesn't use Ryan Matthews.
When Ryan Matthews in the game, he performs. But he's like, no, we paid DeMarco Murray this amount of money. We gotta make sure he gets his carries before he starts yelling at me. That's how Chip Kelly feel. I don't want DeMarco Murray yelling at me. He has to get security guard to escort him now. That's how much Philadelphia hates him.
That's sad.
All right.
So get him out of here. He shouldn't even go back to college. Take him to high school. Because he's done.
All right. Rudy, what do you think?
Okay, I'm gonna be quick because I have a list of coaches here. I'm not just gonna focus on Chip Kelly, but I'm gonna come from left field here, and I'm gonna go ahead say Norv Turner, San Diego needs to be out of there. They have 3 wins. They've been on a decline steadily now for like 3 years, if that's their coach right now.
He's not.
Yeah, whoever their coach is needs to be gone. They have 3 wins. They have Phillip Rivers at quarterback, a pretty consistent guy. They have all the weapons on. Keenan Allen's hurt, but he's still throwing for a better average than most players around the league. The problem here is that they haven't built that defense for anything. So I'm going to say him. I'm gonna say if the Bengals don't make it to at least the AFC Championship, Marvin Lewis needs to go because they're gonna be stuck in mediocrity. I think Jeff Fisher should be on the hot seat.
Quick question, a quick statement. San Diego's head coach is Mike McCoy.
Thank you. McCoy needs to be gone. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Marvin Lewis needs to be gone if they don't make it to the AFC Championship. I think that the GMs for both the Titans and Colts need to go because they make horrible personnel decisions. The obvious one is Chip Kelly because he had the GM privileges and the coaching privileges, and that has not worked out. Although as a coach, he does have a winning record overall. We've just seen him dismantle an entire team.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the biggest problem there. Other than that, I don't really think there are any coaches because the Dolphins already fired their coach, correct?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. But I think the biggest one right now will probably be San Diego.
Well, see, here's the thing. I don't.
Oh, I did forget. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Mike Pettin. I'm sorry. The experiment is over. You can't draft a guy that just is consistently going to either be on the field and not play good or be off the field and cause your team problems and then not do anything to get rid of the guy and expect you to keep your job. I think the Browns just need to clean house as far as that coaching staff, get a new coaching staff in, get a new quarterback in, and press reset. The defense is set. They just need to press reset on that offense and the coaching staff.
All right. So I agree with the Marvin Lewis thing because that's the guy that's had his job the longest, and yet his team –
mediocre.
They win, but if your team stays where it's at, I mean, you have to have some kind of exactly. The same case was made for Scott Brooks. When your team just keeps making it to playoffs, but doesn't get that ceiling to push it to the. It's not like the Bengals made the playoffs and get to the AFC Championship. They get there and lose in the first round.
I mean, to the Texans every time.
But they're not really the bottom of a coach though.
But your coach is supposed to help you win.
They're not progressing the franchise.
But I'm saying it's years.
Play calling changes in the playoffs too. It gets really conservative.
But I don't know if Marvin Lewis called the plays. Shouldn't you fire the defensive coordinator?
I mean, you can get Marvin Lewis is the head dude that oversees everything.
You're right.
So it's like
he can override those.
He can, but he doesn't.
So he has stake in the team's performance. It's like we can't just slide it all the way over to the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. Marvin Lewis has stake in it. I mean, he's been there for X amount of years now. He's been there for a good amount of time, and the Bengals have only won one playoff game, I think, in that span of time.
10 seasons or something like that.
They might have won a couple when Chad Ochocinco was back there. But going on, also, I feel like if we're going to fire Chip Kelly, why don't we fire Mike Pettin? Because Mike Pettin is the one that, from looking at his past seasons, since he took over in 2013, the Browns have went 4-12, 7-9, and 2-9. Wow. Wow. But while Chip Kelly, the Eagles have went 10-6, 10-6, and then 4-7. And then in Chip Kelly's first year, they finished first in the NFC East and made the playoffs. So
you said first season though, right? You said first. Nobody knew what to do with that offense first season.
He did something with it.
No, I'm saying nobody.
No, he said no defense knew how to cover it.
But I'm saying, but he still got them. He got them a 10-6 record the next year though. So I mean, they still had the same record next year.
And then he dismantled the team.
Then he essentially dismantled it, which is why he's technically on the hot seat now. But technically, if you look at it, Mike Pettin's been the one that's performed the least out of any of the coaches. I mean, Rudy's noted the San Diego coach, who last year was the team went 9-7, was second in the AFC West to the Broncos. Then they went 9-7 the previous year, and before that, the year before that, I think before he took over, the change off was the North Turner team was 7-9. So the Chargers have fallen this year, but I think the coach that's blaringly the most has had the least developed team is the Browns because their team hasn't shown any kind of glimpses. I mean, even when they went 7-9, they were still fourth in the AFC North. So you look at it and you're just wondering, like, I mean, he hasn't gotten them to the playoffs. They haven't been. There's never been anything about the Browns that you're consistently saying, hey, they're getting better apart from the defense. And that's just because you got guys like Joe Hayden and whatnot that you're saying, hey, this defense is getting better. But other than that, the offense hasn't improved, and part of that is because Josh Gordon can't keep his mind right. But you know what I'm saying? But also some of it goes down to, I mean, you had I don't know how many quarterbacks in the past how many years.
I think it's Jamie's go too, though.
It's an organizational thing. There's a lot of things that go with it. But I just think the Browns have been the team with the coach that's shown the least ineptitude. So I think Mike Pettin is the coach that most likely needs to go. Right? It's either Mike Pettin, then it comes down to Chip Kelly. And the only reason I say Chip Kelly is because everybody has a bad season because even the Giants, even the Giants, while Tom Coughlin has been there, since 2010, These have been their season records. 2011, when they won the Super Bowl, they went 9-7. They were first in the NFC East. 2012, they went 9-7. They were second in the NFC East. 2013, they went 7-9. They were third in the NFC East. 2014, they were 6-10. They were third in the NFC East. And now you have them sitting at 5-6, tied for first with the Redskins. And it's like you had chances. Everybody pretty much guaranteed the Cowboys the division before Tony Romo got hurt. And now you've had chances to distance yourself from the rest of the teams, but the Giants haven't taken advantage of that opportunity to be able to do so. So you got to look at it and you got to say, man, Tom Coughlin, you've missed the playoffs for the past 2 years, 2 or 3 years actually, and you have to look at it. Actually 3 years, and you have to look at it and be like, I mean, at what point do you get held accountable? The same standard, because at this point, Tom Coughlin's standard is championships, just like Marvin Lewis. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So his standard is championships, not just make it to the postseason. The standard for him is championships. And his team hasn't, been a championship team since 2011. And
that's still better than a lot of teams can say, though.
No, but they've missed the playoffs also. It'd be different. They haven't even made the playoffs. So like 2012, the team that came out the NFC East was the Redskins under RG3. So he's missed the playoffs consecutive years, and the team's just getting worse and worse. So you gotta look at Tom Coughlin also, as granted it's a big coaching name. He has 2 Super Bowls with the Giants. You gotta look at it and say, I mean, even in the Super Bowl years, the year they went to the Super Bowl, the most recent one, they were 9-7, and the one in 2008, that was when they were actually performing at the highest level, and they were 12-4. That's been one of the best records they've had under Tom Coughlin. So the NFL, this season has been unpredictable. There's been so many teams that you think, oh, this team's gonna be great at the beginning of the season. Then they end. And honestly, Sean Payton is also on the hot seat too.
This is last year though.
Yeah, exactly. So it depends on whatever the Saints want to do with him. He's lost. He's pretty much lost the defense. He doesn't have Drew Brees doesn't have the same offensive weapons he had a couple of years ago when they were the top flight offense. So there's only so much your coach can do. There's only so much that you can expect of a team when they've just become decrepit of everything. And John Harbaugh also with the Ravens, you've seen since they won the Super Bowl. Granted, a lot of their players left.
Yeah.
Ray Lewis left. Ed Reed was gone. Like a lot of players left. So some of these coaches, you have to look at their circumstance, look at what they've gone through, what they've been put through, and then see how that's affected the downside. But that's gonna wrap it up for today's show. Thanks for all those who tuned in. It's KBR Sports, the best host talk service 24-hour day. The WODU Studios, the best in college radio. Follow us on Twitter at KBR_sports, where you can see our topics for the day and see the link to watch the shows. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel at KBR Sports, where you can see past shows and past segments. All right, everybody, have a great day.